welcome to another lesson. Do not forget that the part two lesson has been about talking about different aspects of numbers in JavaScript, and then we've talked about things that you need to watch out for when you are working with number, especially the trickier part of where JavaScript try to concatenate numbers and string and other things like when adding two floating numbers together or when performing floating expressions in JavaScript. All these things are very important because when you don't understand why why you are doing what you're doing in your program or in your code, then it's a sure thing that you can get a kind of result that you don't even understand how it's come to be as well. Imagine you are trying to add a number together and you mistakenly introduce a string into the variable, and then you are getting a concatenation as against evaluation of the expression. That is one of the way of getting different outcome from what you would expect normally, and it is the reason why you need to understand what you're doing, most especially when you are working with numbers, so that JavaScript doesn't give you surprises or shocks, especially when it comes to giving you the output of what you're trying to do or work with in your program. So in this lesson, we examine another very important part of numbers, which is how you get infinity or work with numbers that gives you infinity outcomes in your JavaScript code. So infinity here I say division by zero generates infinity. So infinity is a number type of infinity returns number, which means that infinity in JavaScript is a number. Infinity normally in English would mean something that has no end, and this is what that means. So let me just pull this up and then I'll wipe this and make a new one and say H4 infinity in JavaScript numbers, and divide any number zero, we produce an infinity result. So there is my script tag, and I'll say let text equals 2 divided by 0 document.write output of my text here. As you can see, infinity. So if I change the number, do something like maybe 8, could be anything. So if you divide any number with 0, you always get this infinity value, as you can see. So infinity is the value that JavaScript will return if you calculate a number outside the largest possible value. So which means that if JavaScript cannot exactly give you the exact value, once it has reached a result that is outside of the largest possible value, it will just return infinity to you. Because if you take a look at this, you see it is giving us infinity as a return. Division by 0 also generates infinity, just as what we do here, that any number, if it is not 8, if I change it to 6, I think, yeah, this will also be infinity. So when you divide a number by 0, it will always return this for you as an infinity. And I can also check the type of this now. If I check the type of this text, I want to see the type of it. What am I getting? Number, and which correspond to what we have here, that infinity is a number. The type of infinity returns number. I just check the type of it and it returns a number. Then another thing we want to talk about is hexadecimal. JavaScript interprets numeric constant as hexadecimal if they are preceded by 0. So if you precede a number by 0, JavaScript will interpret it as hexadecimal. So if I do something like this, 007, now what am I saying? Octal literals are not allowed. in JavaScript. So which means that there's even a problem before I used it. So it produced what do we call it interprets numeric constant as hexadecimal if they are preceded by zeros. So they say never write a number with a leading zero, just as what I try to do here now. You see, I'm already getting error, and the error is octaliters are not allowed. Let me inspect and see what my console is going to tell me. Oh, my console is not even giving me any error, but you can see that my editor is giving me error, which means that this way of declaring my variable, of assigning value to my variable is wrong and it will not work. Some JavaScript version interprets numbers as octal, that is number in base 10. If they are written with a leading zero, by default, JavaScript display number as base 10 decimals. But you can use the toString method to output number from base 2 to base 36. So if you at any time needs to, display number, change it, or, convert it to any other base, you can use this toString method. So JavaScript will take this and, use it to change your number into any base that you want. Hexadecimal is base 16. Decimal is base 10. Octal is base 8 and binary is base 2. So what this simply means is that I can have something like this. Let number equals to 32. I can do toString method, toString, and I'll put it in a base of 2. Okay, sorry, text. Just a moment. I want to inspect this and see what the error is likely going to be. Okay, let me just do. Oh, okay. I think I see the issue. This is supposed to be my variable and then that method I want to call on it to string base 2. So what is the output? Okay, you can see my variable in base 2. So if I put 6, if I put 16, if I put 32, then what if I put 40? I think we should hit an error there. Yes, and let's inspect what that error is. This is the error should be this. Range to string radius argument must be between 2 and 36 at number. Now, which means that you can only use this to string method for base conversion between base 2 to base 36. So anything outside of that is going to give you an empty response. As you can see on this, you can see it's not returning anything. But if I take this back to 36, which means that any number between 2 and 36 would work. So this is an equivalent of it in hexadecimal representation. So 2 will also work. So any number between 2 to 36 would work. So this is how you can use the toString method in order to output number from base 2 to base 36. Thank you. And in the next lesson, we talked about a very key factor concept of JavaScript number.